Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Comes to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for May 2nd, 2021, with your host, SpaceBaker2448, and Ramp It Up Salon.
Hello.
We finish off our two-parter. Yay! Yeah. So that we get three kind of normal-ish episodes of Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Two of which weirdly do the same thing, kind of. So we're doing 17 through 20 this week. Any thoughts on them going in?
No. Besides, actually being able to finish the two-parter.
Yep. So let's kick things off with the second half of our two-parter. Episode 17, The Trigger Part 2. So Tigertron is in love with the Animarium. I don't know why, considering it's already tried to kill him twice. And will try to kill him at least a third time before the end of the episode. But he loves this place, and he doesn't want the Preds to get it. And Ares' wings are not working, which I don't know why she doesn't transform and fly. But I guess her flight system is connected on both of her transformations, or in both of her boats. So whatever, she's sitting right on Tigertron's back for half the episode.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Black Arachnia figures out how the traps work by accidentally falling into one and almost falling off the island. And somehow Scorponok misses when she points at the symbol and then falls. Shouldn't be too...
He's not that smart.
Most of the Predacons are not that smart.
I mean, fair, but he's really not that smart.
Right. Yeah, she knows how they work now. And we'll get back to that in a little bit. But we check in with Primal and Rat Trap as they're flying to the island because they're the only ones who can get there currently. Unfortunately, they're immediately intercepted by Waspinator and Pterosaur and attacked, and both of them get knocked out of the sky while Primal tries to fight them. He's now stuck trying to fight Waspinator, while Pterosaur flies with Rat Trap as he's falling down to taunt him, which Rat Trap proceeds to counter with, well, if you're gonna get this close to me, I'll shoot you. It just shoots him in the face, which Pterosaur decides, okay, I'm going to transform and leave now, which lets Rat Trap fall on him, taking him hostage, so now he's flying on Pterosaur's back with a gun pointed directly in his face. And Primal takes care of Waspinator, so the two of them head to the island. Meanwhile, Ares and Tigertron spot Black Arachnia avoiding a trap and not telling Scorponok why. And then they immediately get put in a trap. Which Tigertron decides, well, we're going to have to blast our way out of this and run like hell. So they do. Reminder, this is now the third different time the island has tried to kill him. Third different time. Fourth of which this island's tried to kill someone just outright. And Tigertron will still defend this island, saying it's a paradise.
I mean, I guess to him it kind of is, though. He's never been too big of a fan of the fighting.
Right. But I'm unfortunately with Rat Trap of, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
This incredibly does not feel right. Speaking of which, him and Primal soon arrive, and Pterosaur bucks Rat Trap off his back by just flying into a tree and knocking him off, and then flies away. But Tigertron catches them up, and then Rat Trap rightfully points out, this seems like a place that, like, you know, makes people, like, entices intelligent life to come to it and, like, run its maze of sorts in order to get something. That seems suspicious. Like, I am completely with Rat Trap of Tigertron. This is not a paradise. This is one large fucking booby trap. Why would this be a paradise if there's a giant fucking, like, arsenal of lasers and stuff in the middle of this fucking island that you can just take control of by walking in the front door? Why the fuck does this island try to kill you if you decide to break its rules that it doesn't even tell you about? I'm sorry, Tigatron, you're wrong.
But,
anyway,
but it's
Black
a paradise.
No. It's a death trap.
Yes.
Anyway, Black Kraken and Scorponok manage to get to the tower. And then they use Pterosaur and Waspinator, who are in the air, as a distraction to make the tower shoot at them so that they can blast their way in. Which they do! And then Scorponok's like, Black Kraken, you can't take this tower for yourself. And she's like, no, I'm gonna. I don't care. And he tries to shoot her, but he backs up into a trap, and then Black Kraken said, well, enjoy the fall, bye. Don't worry, Scorponok's not dead.
Yet.
Yet. But she now claims the tower for herself, giving her full control, and she, like, takes out the artificial atmosphere this has, and, like, now just turns on all the guns, and now they're shooting at all the Maximals that are trying to charge the tower. But she also flies at the Maximal base, which Troy was like, we need to evacuate the base. And I like to point out that as we're seeing the other Maximals evacuate the base, Rhinox takes the time to pick up a plant and take it out the door with him.
I mean, Optimus said to get everyone out of the base.
That's not the plant from Primal's, like, guerrilla warfare episode. This is a different plant.
I know. That's what's even better.
Which will make an appearance in a later episode of this batch. But anyway, Maxwell's trying to bust in the tower. Rat Trap and Tigertron are on the ground. Rat Trap gets caught under some debris and tells Tigertron, fucking run for it, and tricks the tower into shooting at him to free himself and to cause it to not shoot at Tigertron, who gets inside. But as Black Arachnia gets close, Tigertron blows up the central power. They all run away. Black Arachnia's in the tower when it crashes and also survives this. And I guess her paint job goes back to normal because she also gets the paint job when she takes over the tower because... I would say toys, but I don't think they recolored her toy as this.
And you know, I would have figured that would have been the game plan there. Have like we're gonna just randomly upgrade people just to make more toys to sell. Except for the next episode, nope.
Look, here's the thing: if you're wanting upgrades for new toys, you're gonna have to wait between seasons. Because here's the thing: 90% of the Beast Wars toy line does not appear in the show.
Huh.
Like, I will at some point pull up a list of all the Beast Wars toys, and you will see 90% of the toys do not appear in this show.
Huh.
Like, they only, like, showcase some of it. The rest of them are just toy-only people. Which is one of those, like, this is weird, but okay. But anyway, after this all crashes and stuff, the tower sends a signal to a tower that is on the moon, or one of the moons, which I need to bring up this point because it was in an episode and I forgot to write it down in the notes. Primal and Rhinox note, although they think this is an error in the instruments, that one of the moons is hollow.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say one of the moons isn't actually a moon.
Pretty much. And if you're wondering which moon it is, it's the moon that has the tower on top of it. But anyway, the signal bounces off that tower and then goes through like a transwarp field, and everyone's like, oh, I wonder what that message is. And Tigertron's like, it's a message for the aliens that we did bad. We did a bad, and we should feel bad. And I'm like, about that. Future knowledge? Yeah, no. Tigertron, please stop talking. You're wrong. I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you right now, Tigertron, you're wrong. You are incredibly wrong. But that moves us into our second episode for this week. Episode 14, or not episode 7. I didn't update
episode 14.
Hang on, I didn't update the rest of the episode numbers in the notes. Let me do this before I say the wrong number again. Episode 18, Spider's Game. So a stasis pod enters orbit normally, doesn't even get knocked off course. And Tarantula sees this and then uses an EMP to knock out the power at both the Maximal and Predacon base because he wants the pod for himself. But Black Arachnia finds out about this because she finds his base that is separate from the Predacon base, and it's the base we've seen from like Cheetor's episode where he got captured. But she wants in on Tarantula's plan, and he begrudgingly accepts. And so the two of them head out to claim the pod. Tigertron sees this pod and runs after it, but he is very, very far away and will not make it in time. Because the spiders reach it first, they turn the Maximal into a Predacon, and before Tarantulas can turn it into another Black Arachnia, or like a Black Widow spider, because they just reused Black Arachnia's beast mode model in a little cage. Because we ain't got the budget for a third spider model. I'm sorry, but no. It has already done a DNA sample, and out pops our new Predacon, Inferno, an ant, a giant ant, who is has a few bolts loose, to be honest.
I mean, if you want to just say a few, yes. He has most of his bolts loose.
Yes. But unfortunately, he firmly believes himself to be an ant, and that his pod is his colony, and he is defending his pod, and he shoots both of the spiders.
And meaning that while the pod wasn't damaged, the pod inside was.
Yes. I assume because of Tarantulas' meddling. Because I would assume the Maximals would not have someone this nuts.
I mean...
in a normal stasis pod.
I mean... maybe.
Yeah. But meanwhile, Waspinator tries to intercept Tigatron and actually damages him some, but Air comes in with a rescue, blows off Waspinator's rings, and now he's buried in the ground for the rest of the episode. And Tigatron informs her, and she heads off to try to help, while Tigatron slowly catches up. But when Ares arrives, Inferno just straight up attacks her because you're not Ant. You are not friend. Shoot thing that is not friend. And she gets knocked out of the sky, and Black Arachnia helps and tricks Inferno into thinking she's part of the colony because, spoilers, Inferno is also stupid.
I mean, fair.
And unfortunately, Tarantulas now gets to claim his real prize, the stasis pod itself, after he farts out a web with a lot of effort for some reason. I don't know why. Also, I do mean literally fart out because there is a fart noise associated with this.
I mean, and on top of that, he kind of had to have a device to attach his web to, because he couldn't just attach it to the pod, apparently.
I guess he's trying not to damage the pod in any way with the web.
Except the web goes around the device.
Fair. But Tarantulas takes the stasis pod because, spoilers for later in the episode, Tarantulas wants to get the fuck off this planet because fuck this planet, it sucks, and it's going to burn, and I don't want to be here when that happens. So, I'm taking a stasis pod and I'm leaving. Y'all can go fuck yourselves.
Meaning, you know, probably the only Fred that has a brain.
Yes, but also, this is a plot point. Remember this for later.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about Beast Wars is that, like, the majority of the episode isn't, like, that important when it comes to, like, Inferno, outside of Inferno's introduction. But, like, this small little thing that is the plot of the episode is a very important plot point for the season. Which is, like, the weird thing that I think about Beast Wars, I would say on a first watch, is that you're not thinking about any of these one-off random one-lines that just happen. And you're like, oh, that doesn't seem important. Until you reach the end of the season, and it's like, oh, they were all important. Oh. Okay. But back in the episode, Inferno realizes this and now chases after Tarantulas with Black Arachnia in tow. Tigertron then catches up, and if you watch the background at this scene right here, the stasis pod is still there. Oops. And it's very clearly still there because it's just behind Air Razor. I think right where it would be normally in the scene. But Air Razor's damaged, and Tigertron tells her to go find Primal, and he takes off to go after it, which is a very terrible decision for him, as we'll soon see. But we pick up the chase with Scorponok seeing this happening near the Predacon base and informs Megatron. And after Tarantulas webs up Inferno, when he catches up, Scorponok's like, hey, you need to bring that prod in the Predacon to Megatron. Except Tigertron then blows up the pod. So no stasis pod for Tarantulas. But also, oh no, you blew up the thing that was Inferno's colony. Now he wants to murder you. Tigertron, you idiot. Granted, he doesn't know any better.
I mean, fair.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Black Arachnia knocks him down, and then everyone else pretty much just lays into him, and Tigertron's almost murdered until Primal shows up and just blows Inferno into pieces. By the way, he's not dead. Literally blown up into pieces is not dead. The magic of telling you about stasis lock and then just going, look, it just kicks in when we need it. When we actually want to murder a character, we will murder a character. We promise. But Inferno gets blown up to pieces. Megatron gets knocked down. Airazor and Primal take Tigatron and run. Megatron has Scorponok put Inferno back together off screen between episodes. Tigatron gets healed up at HQ, and Airazor's like, maybe you should drop by more because, spoilers, we're trying to build a romance between Tigatron and Airazor for later. But I say build. We don't get much, to be honest. But we end the episode with Black Radia Black Radia finding out from Tarantulas all the things I just said of, this planet is doomed. I want off this rock. Leave me alone.
To which she thinks he's crazy.
To be fair, he's not crazy.
To be fair, she's not wrong either.
Yes.
He kind of is.
He's crazy, but he's also right.
Yeah.
He's just crazy in different ways. But any thoughts on these two episodes?
Besides the whole, we've kind of immediately went right back to where we were beforehand. Nah.
Yeah. Hey, this big event happened and it's all back to normal.
Yeah.
We're not changing the status quo that much.
Yeah.
But shall we pick up with the second half?
I guess so.
Alright, we shall pick up with episode 19, Call of the Wild. So we start with Cheetor having a dream about hunting an antelope as a cheetah, because...
Of course.
Yeah. When the Predacons attack the Maximal base, and the Maximals try to mount a defense, but the Predacons claim what their prize, which is the Energon Shield device thing that's on top of the base. I know it has a specific name, but it's the Energon Shield. But they claim it and run away, and Airazor ends up damaged and is stuck in the repair chamber for like several days.
Which is probably for the best.
Yeah. But as we find out that because of this Energon Shield being taken, now the base is not protected from the Energon buildup, meaning the Maximals are now stuck in their beast modes most of the time. Which, as we find out, is Megatron's plan, because he wants them stuck in their beast modes. Therefore, their beast instincts will take over, making them more like the animals their beast modes are based on, making them easier to murder. And they are going to amplify this by just doing hit and run tactics on the base for several days straight in order for them to not sleep. So a few days later, the Predacons finish up their last hit and run before the Maximals finally get time to sleep. And then they all become the animals they're based on. And they all chase each other out of the base. So now they are off at a forest near the base, and Megatron and crew are out hunting them, with Megatron on a throne being carried by Tarantulas and Scorponok, with Black Radia playing a drum, and the three flyers that are Waspinator, Pterosaur, and Inferno, because Inferno can fly, because his butt turns into a jet engine.
Because he's a flying fire ant.
Yes. And now they hunt the Maximals. At this point, Tigatron arrives at base because he got a message from the Maximals, and I guess he was super far away from the base to not make it back for several days. Then he makes it back and sees all this and is like, well, gotta go save the day. Airazor, can you go get the Energon Shield thing? And she's like, I got it. So they split up to go save the day. But Airazor, I'll just do her part because it's short. She makes it to Predacon base, flies in at fucking Mach speed because she breaks the sound barrier on the way in. To destroy the guns, I guess. And just slips in, takes it, blows up one gun that was guarding it, and then just flies out and leaves. The Maximals, meanwhile, are rounded up by Tigatron because he tracks them down, stares at them, and roars at them, and then they just follow. Because
reason.
Pretty much. And once he has them all gathered, he's just like, look, you've all got a blocker that's trying to keep you from integrating with your beast mode. You need to delete it because you're both bot and animal. You need to make the best of both. So delete the blocker and you're fine. And then they all delete the blocker and they're all okay magically. Outside of, probably being sleep deprived for several days of hit and run attacks by the Predacons. But oh well, that's fine. Being an animal for like 2 hours, fix that. But now that they're good, they go on the attack. Primal starts this by doing a prime kick. Because, of course, he does. I almost want to say this is a reference, but it probably isn't.
Oh, it's definitely not.
Yeah. And the rest of the Predacons are pretty much just taken out in one move. I think the best part is Ratchet gets like fastball specialed into shooting Pterosaur in the face, and Rhinox just swats Waspinator out of the sky with a tree. But the Predacons all get taken out. They all get the Energon buildup. They run away. Maximals are like, yay! We say we're fine. Everything's okay. And the episode just ends. Which takes us to episode 20, Dark Voyage. So, Rhinox, Rattrap, Cheetor, and Dinobot are out mining Energon for supplies. Dinobot finds a massive vein of Energon, but they are quickly attacked by Waspinator and Scorponok, and Scorponok fires an arrow into the Energon vein, which causes it to explode, more or less, on the Maximals. And the two of them think they're dead. Spoilers, they're not dead, even though this should probably kill them. Because it is a very large explosion.
In light of how big that explosion is, yes. Yes, it should have.
Instead, they're severely damaged, and now they are overexposed to Energon, and more or less being slowly killed by it. And also, it has made them all blind, because...
I mean, something has to make them blind.
Yeah, in order for this episode to work, yeah. But once they figure all this out, Rhinox is like, all right, we need to get back to base. I will lead us back to base, but we need to stay in beast mode to slow down the exposure. So they all go back into beast mode. And I like that it kind of glitches and sparks, and and they even act like it's painful to transform now. Cause it's like, oh, nothing, this isn't working right. I do give them credit for that. But they head out. I think at this point, Scorponok, Waspinator get told by Megatron, go find evidence of them being blown up because I want trophies. And then they're on their way back. But our four Maximals head into a jungle and are immediately attacked by a giant python that tries to strangle Cheetor. So Dinobot and Rattrap try to rescue him. Dinobot runs face first into a tree and flattens himself. Rattrap just gets flung to the other side of the jungle. Rhinox is the only one who saves the day by just stepping on the snake's tail to stop it from eating Chior and just throwing it. Because Rhinox is the only competent one today, folks. It's his episode. But because the attack, Chior is more or less disabled and has to ride on Rhinox's back until he's walking on a trunk later. So I guess he got his walking back between scenes. Meanwhile, Primal and our other Maximals are out looking for them, while Scorponok and Waspinator pick up their Energon trail, since they are, you know, pretty much walking Energon crystals now. They pick up the trail and start trying to find them. Our four find a waterfall, and Rat Trap checks a log to see if they can get across, and it's good, and they start trying to cross it when Waspinator shows up and is like, I'm going to dunk you in the water, and does. And they all fall down the waterfall and get washed up on the shore of the river, or somewhere downriver in a fog, because where they end up, it's now foggy, even though it was bright, clear day elsewhere. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that's not how weather works. But they're cornered at the shore, and they've got no option but to fight. But since they're all blind, they can't shoot worth shit. Luckily, Rhydox has them all imagine a targeting grid, and then enters a meditating pose in his beast mode. Because bear in mind, right now, Rhynox is the only one not transformed. And I'm not gonna lie, I love the visual of this big rhino just sitting back on his butt and entering a meditation pose. I don't know why, but it's hilarious. But he hears Waspinator and now Pterosaur, who's here now. And he directs them to where to shoot him. They shoot them both out of the sky. Unfortunately, this causes the other three to collapse because they're pretty much done. Rhinox hears someone else, transforms to fight him. Turns out to be Primal, but he soon collapses. But thankfully, Primal got the four of them with, I guess, Air Razor or Tigatron's help back to base, got them all healed up, and now they're all fine. Because they were close enough to base. That four people got carried by 3 people swiftly to base. I'm not sure how, though. But day is saved. Rhinox goes off to smell some flowers to relax after everything happens, and that's the end of the episode. So how'd you feel about these two?
Yeah.
It doesn't help that these 2 episodes I feel like are trying to do the same thing of, hey, your beast modes are really important and you really need to figure out how to use them. And I go, I mean, you didn't really do that for either of them? Really?
Yeah.
So, this is again why I say I'm glad the other 2 seasons have like half the episode count. Because there is not much going on here. Yeah, that's kind of another myth for episodes. Any other thoughts?
No.
All right. Next week, we hit the fart episode.
I don't even.
It's the 2nd episode of our batch.
I don't even.
It is probably the goofiest episode of all of Beast Wars, if I'm being perfectly honest. It is an episode that is probably best left forgotten. But between now and then, we start Pokemon Infinite Fusions Thursday. Friday will be something possibly besides Halo.
Oh, it will definitely be something besides Halo.
A question of what?
Yeah.
Saturday.
I'm kind of leaning towards us maybe then the Spider-Man race kind of concept.
Yeah.
It depends on if I can get everything that I want to get done.
Yeah. Saturday will be a thing.
More than likely Fortnite.
Yeah. And that brings us back around to either Sunday or Monday being TGSR. Stay tuned for streams around then to get a definitive time or definitive day, not time. Same time, regardless of day.
I mean, it could be a different time. Yeah, to be fair, it could, but yeah, no.
Yeah. So, if you like what you've seen, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal. At TGC on Twitter gets you updates when we're live. Next information point, Discord, and check. Get to this link, drop by, say hi. We will see you Thursday, folks.